She said I'm juicy. I like that. Can you feel it? Started this morning. Reverend Carolyn gave just a wonderful meditation. Thank you so much. She brought us to a place of peacefulness, allowed us to release any fears or doubts that may be happening, which, getting ready to speak, I sometimes have some of those. But then, you know, just before I get up here, I get very excited about being up here and very anxious about it. So that's good. That's a good thing. And then listening to Andy, so authentic and so just pure, and I just really appreciate what you shared with us. And yes, we have all been affected by this, by the campfire, and to listen to different people speak about that and share. The thing that I noticed as well, I work for Round Table Pizza, for those of you that don't know. And we lost a store. And with that, we had 19 people that, you know, they needed a place to live, a place to go, that lost their homes too. So we're all impacted in different ways. And what I saw, as well as what you shared, is this coming together, this community. And it didn't matter whether you were conservative or you were liberal or you were this or that. There was just this unity. And to me, that's truth speaking. That's truth expressing itself. And so I just appreciate this teaching. I appreciate life. And so we're here to talk about the way it works. That's the second chapter of the science of mind. What is the science of mind? Anybody, tell me, what is the science of mind? Love? Excuse me? Organized philosophy for living life well. That's really well put. Anybody else? Scientific use of mind. Yes. Path for growth. Yes. The study of God. Beautiful. And it's a book. So who wrote the book? Ernest Holmes, yes. So I'm going to do this more like I teach a class. I'll be asking you a lot of questions here, so be ready, okay? So, oh, it's there. Good. So, is the science of mind based on Ernest Holmes' revelation of truth? No. Oh, that's good. What is it? Yes, it's a culmination of all revelations of Eastern philosophy, Western philosophy, science, you name it. We are open at the top. We are ready to expand and learn and grow in truth. That's what I really love about this teaching. And I also want to take time to say thank you to Crystal, and for the whole team, Trevor, my beautiful daughter Macy, and of course Ted, for all that they do. I've had some experience back there, and it can get a little hairy sometimes. And what they do is really great. But and I came at the last minute, and Crystal said, hey, no problem, I'll take care of this. And I know that we need more people in that group. So if you are a button pusher, or you happen to know a button pusher, sign up. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to take different pieces out of the book, and we're going to break it down a little bit. So here we go. The realization that good is universal, and that as much good as any individual is able to incorporate in his life is his to use, is what constitutes the science of mind and spirit. Okay, So the realization that good is universal. What are we talking about? Good is universal. What does that mean? Everywhere, all the time. What's that? For everyone, yes. And so the idea that these revelations are a culmination of many different teachings, doesn't that make sense if you put those together? Doesn't it make sense that the universal good would express itself through all teachings? Anybody that's seeking truth? Yes, of course, good answer. Okay. and that is much good, now this I really like, as much good as any individual is able to incorporate in his life is his to use. How do you do that? As you believe. What's that? If you perceive it, you can achieve it. Very good. If you, what's that? If you believe it. Yes. Belief is big. We're going to get to a lot of belief here. Yes. Okay, so incorporate into your life. Incorporate. How do you incorporate it? Make it a part of. Yes. Practice it. Practice. And how do we practice? Walk your talk. Actions. Take lessons, classes, meditations, affirmations, all kinds of great tools that we provide here. The fact is that there is a universal energy that surrounds us, right? That energy is everywhere. And it is through our thinking, through our thoughts, that we impress upon it a mold. And it reflects back to us that which we are. Right? Yes? Okay. So, the life which we live is universal life, expressing through us, else how could we live? Our thought and emotion is the use we make consciously or unconsciously of this original creative thing that is the cause of everything. Okay. So, there's only one, right? Just spirit. So if I was going to do this algebraically, it would be S plus 0 equals S, right? So we are all here, right? We're living, we're beings, right? So what could we be other than spirit? If there is only spirit, we have to be spirit. Are you with me? And we all have a life, right? We have our own life. But back of our life is universal life. The life which we live is universal life. It's an infinite life. That's good. That's a good quality to have. Expressing through us. So this universal life expresses through us, else how could we live? And how does it express through us? As us. How do we express this truth? It's in the second sentence. Through our emotion and thoughts. Right? Okay. So, I only have a couple more of these, then we'll get into other ways of doing this, okay? So, we are thinking, willing, knowing, conscious centers of life. We are surrounded by, immersed in, and there's a flowing through us, a creative something. I love that, a creative something. Okay. Call it what you will. The sum total of all our thought, will, purpose, and belief creates a tendency in this law that causes it to react to us according to the sum of that belief. And with that, I'm going to take a little drink, and you can absorb that a minute. Okay. So we are centers of life. We know that, right? Because it's spirit equals 0, and we're spirit, and each one of us are individual centers of that spirit, okay? So, we are surrounded by, immersed in, and there is a flowing through us a creative something. What is that? What is the creative something? What does that mean? Energy. And can we use it? Yes. Okay. Call it what you will. The sum total of all our thought. Uh-oh. The sum total of all of our thoughts. Yeah. Our will, our purpose, and belief creates a tendency in this law. The sum total of all of our thinking, our beliefs, and who and what we are. It creates a tendency, or a mold, if you will, and that tendency is reflected back to us. So if you want to know what you believe, look at your life. Because it can do nothing else. It absolutely must reflect exactly what we believe. It's a principle. It doesn't sometimes reflect what we believe. It always reflects what we believe. So, do you think our thoughts are important? Why? Thoughts are things. Creative. Yes, we are creative beings. I know that some of you think, oh, I'm not really creative, but you are. It is our nature. We are creative beings just by nature, just by walking, talking, breathing. We are creative by nature. So, the truth is, why don't we go to the next one? The universe doesn't just give, it gives who you are. You see, there was a movie called The Secret, and I'm sure a lot of you probably have seen it, right? And The Secret was really great in a lot of ways, but it kind of dumbed down what we do and who we are and really how it works. It kind of gave you this impression if you just have a vision board and you can imagine whatever it is, then it's just going to come to you. The universe doesn't just give, it gives who you are. And so when we go to the universe, I knew I was getting ahead of myself, and so now I'm going to wait here. So I do that a lot sometimes. It gives who you are, okay? So who are you? Spirit. Who are you? It gives who you are, your thoughts, your words, your feelings, and your actions. That's what you are. That's who you are. Your thoughts, your words, your feelings, your actions. Okay? And those things have to be in alignment for you to be authentic. Because when you are authentic is when you're able to use this incredible power to demonstrate for you. So, I have this thing here. It's a fidget spinner. Okay? And it's really cool. I keep it in my pocket sometimes, and it sits there, and once in a while I may rub it against my leg, and it kind of turns a little bit, and maybe I blow on it, and it might get it to move a little bit. But if I want this thing to spin, what do I have to do? I have to engage it, right? I've got to give it, whoops, I've got to do better than that. There. And you know, I didn't really spin it very hard. But it goes on and on and on. I mean, this thing will spin for a long time. Spirit's a little bit like that, I think. When we engage spirit correctly, when we engage spirit in full alignment, authentically, with our thoughts, our words, our emotions, and our actions, we can make it spin. You with me? Good. Okay. Those thoughts, words, and actions need to be consistent too, of course. And you know what happens is sometimes we're out of alignment, right? And I've had one of these and it broke, you know, and so then it becomes a turner, okay, because it doesn't spin because it's out of alignment. And sometimes we get ourselves out of alignment. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that our words, maybe, our words and our actions aren't necessarily in alignment with our feelings and our thoughts. That can happen, right? So, like, you know, I think my daughters are here, so I want them to hear this. You know, in relationships, sometimes the words and actions may not be what the thinking and what the feelings really are, okay? And maybe that's happening because you want to impress somebody, okay? And maybe that, and one of the key things in any relationship is that you want to be with somebody who can be authentic with you, and that you can be authentic with also. Because it's not until you can be authentic and in alignment that anybody can really get to know the real you, right? Yeah. And so another area would be parents and parenting and the children, you know, children trying to live up to and trying to please parents, and so they may have feelings and thoughts going one direction, but they're trying to please the parents, so they're acting in a different way. And then how does that end up? Not good. Never does. So being in alignment is really important. It's important for us to be able to do that in order to create the life that we truly desire. And that is the way that it works. How much can one demonstrate just what one can believe? Well, that sounds pretty good, right? Except the issue is the belief part. So how do you, what if I want to expand my belief? What do I have to do to expand my belief? What's that? What'd you say? Fear to Faith worksheet is certainly a good tool for it. I've been there lots of times. What else? How do you expand your belief? Understand what you... Well, what creates our beliefs? Thoughts? Environment? Experience, yes. Knowledge? Understanding? So if we want to expand our belief, don't we need to expand our understanding and our knowledge and our beliefs about everything, and learn more and be more and come to places like this and be with people that are like-minded as well? I think it's a good idea. Okay, so now I'm going to take a left turn. Snap, crackle, pop. What comes next? Rice Krispies, yes. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. That's right, Alka-Seltzer. Gosh, that thing, you know, that came out how many years? I'm thinking the 60s that came out. Woo! Yes. Finger licking good. Kentucky Fried Chicken, that's right. Why do we remember this stuff? Repetition, yes, absolutely. All that stuff is sitting in our subconscious mind, isn't it? That subconscious mind is pretty amazing. Okay, so let's take a look at this thing. We have the conscious mind and then the subconscious mind. This was a lesson that was given to us at SOAR. You know, it was a CSL retreat, and Andy and myself and Sandy, we all went there, and Reverend McQueen, let me make sure I get that correct. Maquita McAllister. She gave the workshop. And this just kind of spoke to me a little bit. I thought it was pretty amazing. Consciously, we are able to handle about between, I believe it was 5 to 9 things simultaneously. 5 to 9, that's pretty good. Subconsciously, 20,000. 20,000 things. That's a lot. Simultaneously. Count to 20,000. It takes a while. 20,000 things simultaneously. Our subconscious mind is extremely powerful. It just expresses itself. That's where our belief system is, you know, within our subconscious. And just like I pulled those little things out by saying, you know, plop, plop, fizz, fizz, we went back, I don't know how many years it was, and you pulled it out just like that. What do you think the chances are that there are thoughts and beliefs in our subconscious that get triggered by something that happens and we pull them out just like that? Pretty good, huh? Pretty good. And so what do we have to do? Now the conscious mind, don't think that it's just a weakling. It's not a weakling. It's a good thing. Because if we are consciously aware, we can make changes. We can use the logic and we can look at it and we can make changes and evaluate that whatever that thing that just popped out of our subconscious is. And we can even say, you know what, I don't like it. I don't like that. That thought, that line of thinking is not serving me one bit. And we can make changes to it. We can believe something new and different. That's the way it works. But you have to be consciously aware. And I know Dr. Carolyn wants to say something here. Say it. She's at. Oh. Right. No, I do. I remember that when you taught me. I do. No, it's true.
Well, so many people think that the subconscious, because it does 20,000 bits, is greater
yes.
than the conscious mind, and it's not. That's what it teaches.
Yes, that's the power. The power is in the conscious mind. No, I'm glad you highlighted that. Absolutely. The power is in our conscious mind because we are able to make changes. Our subconscious serves us very well. But you ever notice, like, you know, I teach classes a lot, right? So we go class 1 and people just kind of sit around and, okay, so now class 2, almost all people are sitting exactly where they sat before. Why? It became a habit like that. Our subconscious kind of works automatically, and it helps us because it kind of, I think it frees us up to be able to be more consciously aware. But we need to be consciously aware of those things that come up so that we can make the change. And if we make a decision to make a change, and that's where the conscious mind comes into play, we can do it. And it is more, well, that's what I was told anyway from... Yes. So we clear on that. Okay, good. Oh boy. Uh-huh. Okay. So, with this whole thing with the advertisers, somebody said, well, how can they do that? Well, it's because of repetition, right? So I was thinking that what if we acted like we were advertisers with ourselves, okay? And so the things that we want to put into our brain so that it's an automatic reaction, what if we did that through affirmations, right? And so that's kind of what this whole workshop was all about. And so what she had recommended was that affirmations 108 times, 3 times a day, that we repeat it, okay? Well, I kind of took it a little further. I decided that I was going to do an affirmation, and I was going to do it every 2 hours, 80 times every 2 hours. Okay? So, my affirmation, now I'm nervous and I can't remember it, no. Each day, I incorporate more good into my life. Each day, I incorporate more good into my life. So, you know, I go through all this, right? And so, and then I even have a little icon that reminds me of my affirmation that I put around, just like advertisers do. They have these little icons, and you can make billboards, and you can have fun. And those of you that are really musically inclined, you can even make a jingle. So I did it, and I did that for a week. And I have to tell you, it's hard to explain the transformation and the changes, but I can kind of share with you a scenario, okay? So in my work, I have all kinds of things going on. You know, I'm overseeing a lot of different areas. And so, you know, at one time I have a wonderful lady who's making a complaint because she found a fly in her stool. Another person, well, you have to, I work for a pizza place. She had a pizza delivered and she found a fly in her stool, and so she was, yes. Hey, in my line of work, it is weird sometimes. So I've got that going on. At the same time, you know, I've got plumbing issues. You know, there's all kinds of different personnel issues and money. You know, a lot of things were hitting me at one time at this moment, and I was getting a little stressed out. And then you know what happened? My phone alarm went off to remind me that it was time to do my affirmation. And I just laughed. And it brought me to a place of peace, which is exactly what I was doing. It's exactly the reason that I do it. And I found that throughout the week, different times I would start getting, you know, wigged out about what was on TV, or wigged out about the fact that, you know, there was lines or whatever it might be. And it would bring me back to that place of peace. Affirmations are wonderful. And it's a way of us expanding our beliefs and changing our thoughts. Okay. Oh, I did that one, didn't I? Go ahead and change it, see what happens. Yeah, each day, okay, I got that, good. Go again. Okay. So then, knowing that the thing can work for us only through us, let us begin to accept today more good than we experienced yesterday, and to know that we shall reap a harvest of fulfilled desires. That's how Ernest Holmes ends that chapter. And so, what I'd like to just leave you with today is that we have this ability to create, that we need to be in alignment to really make it spin. And sometimes it's hard for us to get into alignment. But you know what? Isn't that what we're here for? To help one another, to provide the tools that help you to get yourself in alignment, to be able to work it, to be able to express the greatness that each and every one of us are, the love that each and every one of us are. That's the way it works. Namaste.